Hello everyone, this is Srikanth. Welcome to my channel. In this session, we will be creating a route for the Stripe payment gateway integration. So let's start. So first of all, we will have to install Stripe package inside this server folder, like in the Node project. So let's navigate to Stripe cd server. You can enter. Now we are in the server folder. Now we need to install npm install Stripe. So this will get added into the package.json. Let's see. Let's go to the package.json. See here, it has to be added into here. Okay. So let's see. So the Stripe package has been installed successfully, and here you can see it is added to the package.json file. Now let's create a separate route for the Stripe. So as we have already food route.ts file, now let's create separate file for the stripe.route.ts. Okay. Now inside this one we need to import the Stripe. So import Stripe from Stripe. So we have imported. Now we'll have to create the session. So we'll have to create the checkout session. So for that one, what we have to do is first of all create a route for this one. Okay. We need to import the router. Import router from Express. Now const router route. Okay. Now router dot get. Actually, this will be the post request for this session. We'll use as a get request as we have not integrated the client yet. So we'll make it as a post request. Okay. Now let's make this one as a checkout, and you can use async request response. So here we have created successfully the checkout route. Now we have to create the session. So for that one, here you can see as we have added the Stripe route here. Before this, we need to have the Stripe secret trace. So let's go to the Stripe dashboard. Stripe. So you just enter that Stripe in the search bar. Now you can go to the dashboard. As I'm having already account, it is directly showing me the dashboard. If you are not created it, just go to this Stripe and create an account, and directly you can go to the developers. So where you can find the API keys. Here you can see API keys. So we got the two keys here: public key, publishable key, and secret key. So we'll have to take this secret key. Secret key is used on the server side. The public key can be used on the client side. So let's reveal the secret key and copy this one. Now go back to this config folder. So let's create constants.ts. Okay. Now make this one as export const secret key. You can mention secret key, and you can give it as a, you can paste it here. So we need to import this secret key inside the Stripe route. So import secret key. Okay, now we need to add this one to the stripe. Const stripe to stripe. So we need to pass the secret key. Passed it to secret. So what we have done, we have copied the secret key from the Stripe dashboard. We need to go to the developers and you can see publishable and secret key, and then you can copy the secret key and paste it inside the constant folder and import into the Stripe route, and you can add it as secret key to Stripe. Now we need to create the session. So Stripe dot sessions. So we need to create the session now. Const session equal to Stripe dot checkout dot sessions dot create. Okay, so this is the session we are going to create. So here it will be having some parameters. First one is the line items, and you can make this one as an empty array for now. We'll be adding these properties later. And the second one is the mode of payment mode. So we can make this one as a payment. And you can also add shipping address collection. I'll tell you what it will be. Shipping address collection, and it will be an object, and you can mention the countries which are allowed. So allowed countries, it will be an array. This will take 2 letters. It's a country name. Let's say India, US, and Canada. So it will be taking 2 letters for the country code. So, and also we have success URL, cancel URL. Success URL will be, so let's take this one as the inside the backtick. So we want to redirect it on success. This will be the request. So request dot headers dot origin. So we wanted to redirect it to the origin, the request, and you can mention the route success. So, and you can also pass the session ID to that particular route, so we can able to get the status of the payment. So there will be a special variable for this one where we get checkout underscore session ID. So let's add that one as well. Checkout underscore session underscore ID. So this is a special variable. It has to be same like this. It will automatically replaced with the session ID while redirecting to the particular page. So also we cannot add cancel URL. When the payment is get cancelled, the page will be redirected to this page. So in the same way, you can add inside the backtick characters request dot headers dot origin, and slash you can mention the cancel. So here it will be redirected to the cancel route. So let's see what we have done so far. First of all, we have installed the Stripe package, and it added to the package.json file. Then we have created the Stripe route.ts file, and we have imported the Stripe, and we have got the secret key from the Stripe dashboard, and we have passed the secret key here. And next we need to create the session for the Stripe. So here it will be having these properties: line items, mode, and shipping address collection, and all of things. So let's say we wanted to give some static values. So for the line items, later we'll make it dynamic when we use it from the client side. When we make a request from the Angular client side, as we are not fully developed it, we can test it using static values. So here it will be having this line items values. So line items will be having these properties: price underscore data, and it will be an object, and first parameters for this one will be currency. We need to mention the currency. Let's make this one as a USD, and next product data. So product underscore data. Here we can give the name of the product. So let's say name chicken soup, and we'll be having one more parameter, can give unit underscore amount, so which will be the amount of the particular item. So here you can give for now static 100. Okay, later we'll be making this all these things from the client side, and it will be dynamic. So for testing purpose, what we are doing is we are hard coding the values, and quantity will be 1 we are giving. So we are successfully able to create the checkout session, and now we have to pass the URL. So for example, we need to pass this response to the client side. So what we can do is just take one variable response here, const response equal to this one URL. Let's make this one as an empty. Okay, now what we will be doing is, if session.url, we'll be getting session.url. So return assign this one to response.url equal to session.url. So let's remove this await. So let's remove this await. Let's add await here. We forgot to add await here. Await. So now you can remove await. To be session.url. So what it will do is, it will give the URL to the client side, where we can navigate unsuccessful or cancel this payment. If that is successful, we will be getting the session ID in the query parameters, and the client side we can able to get it, and we can check the status of the payment. So this is it. So now let's test it inside the browser. As we have mentioned, this is a GET request. Later it will be changed to POST request when we pass all of this data from the client side. So before checking this on the browser URL, we need to export this. So export default route. We need to import this into the server.ts file. Let's go to the server.ts, import Stripe router from route/Stripe. So we have successfully imported into the server.ts file. Let's add the endpoint app.use. So here what we can make it /API/Stripe, or you can make payment/Stripe router. So we have successfully imported this one into the server.ts file. Now we can able to run it into the browser. So before running, again go to the Stripe dashboard and you can see the history of the payment. So here you can see, let's go to the dashboard. You can able to have the logs into the dashboard. So let's click on these transactions here. As of now, we did not have any records inside these transactions. Now let's create the, let's call this endpoint. Now let's go to the browser to test this one. Localhost 5000 is the port where we are testing this one. API slash, so what route we need to go? Payment slash checkout. So this is what we need to do, right? So here we have given the slash checkout, and inside the server.ts we have given slash API payment. So this endpoint we need to hit. So let's click on this one and let's see what is happening. See here it is getting crashed. See what is the reason? Okay, 400 bad request, and it is also saying invalid URL. Okay, so one thing we have to do is, as we are making it the request from the direct from the browser, so we'll be not having these things. So let's, so we'll be not having this request headers.origin. So let's comment of these two lines now for now, and let's copy it again and change this one, request.header.origin. We can enable it when we make the request from the client side. So till that one we can use localhost 4200 or client port. Localhost http colon localhost 4200 is the client port. So here we can copy the same thing for the cancel URL as well. So we have copied. And one more thing what we have to do is, we are not returning the response to the client. So let's add that one as well. Rest dot send response. So we will be sending the response. So this one. So now let's run it again. So let's see client is started or not. Server is started or not. So it is started on 5000 port. So here we got the endpoint, the response. Okay. Now just if we copy this URL, HTTP URL, and paste it inside the browser directly, you can able to see the checkout page. Here you can see we got the checkout page. So if you can give some sample details to make the payment, HYD I am giving, HYD, and pin I am giving some sample pin, and let's select Andhra Pradesh, and you can give the test card details, which is nothing but 424242. Okay, and you can give any expiry date, which is a future date. Let's give, and you can give the CVV as all zeros. So now let's click on payment. Okay, now you can see the payment got successful. Now it is automatically redirected into the client page, as we have not created the success route yet on the client side, so it has got to the default page. Here you can see this URL, we have made the payment, and if you go and refresh the Stripe dashboard, you should be able to see the payment which we have made. So we can see all the logs into the Stripe dashboard. See here you can see after refreshing the page, so what we have done the payment, it got created the log inside the Stripe dashboard. See here you can see the details. See here what we have entered, the details on the Stripe page, and the item name chicken soup we have entered, quantity 1, and the unit price, it is becoming 1. this way we can able to make the payment. So let's see, we have successfully made the payment, but if we wanted to create some orders onto the table on successful payment, we have to create orders collection and we have to insert these details into the database as well. Let's see how we are going to do that. So to create orders collection, we need to have that order model first of all. So let's go to the MongoDB compass. So we are having currently only one collection, which is nothing but the foods, which will give the list of foods. Okay, now we have to create the orders. So on successful or cancellation of the payment, we need to have the orders collection, and there we can store the list of orders. So let's get created the order model. So let's go to the shared, inside the models. Let's add one more file, order.ts. Okay, so in the same way how we have created that food model, we will have to follow the same process. We'll have to create that order model and order schema. Okay, now let's go here. First, what we need to do, import model comma schema from mongoose. Okay, now we got successfully imported the model and schema. Now what will be the order structure? So we'll be seeing like let's assume the client will be passing username, email, and all of this related data. So let's create the same structure here. So let's create the interface first of all. Okay, export interface I order. So let's assume which will contain these things, products, which is nothing but line items. Okay, so we'll be giving that one shortly. Okay, now let's make, for now let's make this as a string. Okay, I'll make it dynamic. So let's assume we will be getting one more attribute, some other attributes like user ID will be string. Okay, and the name of the user string, and email which is of type string, and address and city. So address will be string and city string. So let's assume products will be the line items what we have created here. So what will be the structure of this line items? So line items will be having this price data, currency, product, and this thing. So let's create the structure for the line item. So we'll be making this one as a interface line items. Okay, here what we have done, products will be the line items what we have created just now. See here we have created the static data, the line items, right? So this is the structure. So it line items in array, right? So let's add the array. So now let's create the line items. Export interface line items. So here we have to mention the properties which are inside the line items. So what are the properties present inside the line items? So if you go here, stripe.ts, price data, currency, product, unit amount. So this is the properties. So let's add the same properties for the line items. So first one is the price underscore data. So which is price data. Let's create this one as well. Okay. Next, quantity. Quantity will be the number. So Now let's create high price data. So let's add this one as well. Export interface high price data. What it will contain? High price data will be having these properties. Okay. So all these things we need to add it step by step. Okay. So here what it is containing: currency, product data, and unit number. So here go to this one. So add currency, string, and product data. Product underscore data. So what it will be, the product data will be type of product data. Product data. So we will be having one more thing: unit of amount, unit underscore amount. So which is a type of number. So now what we have to create? Product data. So let's name this one export interface product data. So product data, what it contains? You see, product data contains only the name. So let's add that one here. So here you can see we have created step by step for the structure. So need to give name structure. Okay, see how we have created. First of all, we have created the order interface. Inside that order interface, we have created the structure for the line items. Line items is having the price data. So inside this one, we'll having product data. So product data is nothing but the name of the product. So in this way, we have to create the structure. Now it's time to create the schema. So let's create the schema. Export const order schema equal to new schema. Here we have to mention the schema structure, which is nothing but the collection structure. In general, we can say it is the table structure in the SQL. So here we have to mention all of these properties types inside the schema. Let's say products, product type, which is nothing but we'll be providing it shortly. So let's make this one as this way. So which is nothing but product schema. So we'll have to create product schema, product schema. We'll be creating that one shortly. Required true. See, we have to create the product schema now. Let's paste it here. Export const product schema. What it will contain? Here you can see. So product schema we have created. So what it has, the schema will be basically it containing the line items. So we need to add line items to the schema. So inside the product schema we will be having quantity and price data. Let's add those properties. Quantity, which is type number. Just remember we need to have the capital letters for the number. Okay, and same for the price data. We'll be having price data. Let's make this required true. we will be having one more thing, price data, price underscore data. So we'll have to match the same structure here. Okay, type will be price schema. We'll be creating it shortly. Required true. So how we have created the interface, in the same way we'll have to create the bits and pieces of schema, and all together will be added to the final schema, order schema. Okay, so in the same way, price schema, we need to create the price schema. What it is containing, product schema is containing these things, quantity and price data. Here you can see quantity and price data. Now we need to create the price schema. So let's copy this one. Export const price schema equal to new schema. So what price schema contains, here you can see these are the things we need to add it to the price schema. So in the same way, let's add those things. So what are the properties for this price schema? Currency and the unit amount. So let's add these things. Unit, let's add the currency first. Currency, which is of type string, required true. So here we have added the currency, and next what we need to add, unit underscore amount. So type will be number, and make this required true. So what is the next attribute we need to add? Product data. Product underscore data. So here we are following the same structure here. Okay, this one. So what we will have the product data. Product data will be the type of this one. So let's add. Type will be product data schema. Product data schema. Okay, we'll be creating that one. Required will be true. Now let's create this one, product data schema. What it will contain? Export const equal to new schema. So let's create and add the properties for a product data schema. So what will contain the product data schema? Only it contains the name. So let's add name. Type will be string. And required true. So we have created the schema for the order table, order collection. Okay. So it will be little complex. Just you need to break it small bits and pieces, like order schema, how we have made it to interface. In the same way, we can mention the schema. Now we are able to create the order schema. So the main structure is completed. Now we have to add these things for the schema. So let's add those as well. So these will help us to, whenever we make a payment, it will be stored in the database, so we can see the status of this one. So user underscore ID, type will be string, and required will make it true if you want, otherwise it can be false. Okay. Now next property will be the name. type will be string. Here I made a mistake. It should be capital string. So let's make it here as well. Just remember, schema will always contain the capital letters for the type. Required true. So next property will be email. Type will be string. Required true. So here we have created the next what are pending, address and city. Let's add those things as well. Address and city. Address type string required true, and city type will be string required. So I'll be providing the GitHub URL. I'll be committing entire project to the GitHub URL and I'll provide in the description. You can check for the description. Okay. Let's see, we have added all of these things. Now it's time to add the virtuals and timestamp. So let's add the virtuals. Okay. So JSON will be and we also need to add the timestamp. Timestamp will be true. So we have created the order schema. So we have created the order schema. Now see, oh, okay, here we forgot to mention the type. So here you can mention I order. So this we have to mention the type as well here. So as we have mentioned the same for the food as well. Okay. Now we need to import this into the Stripe route, and then we can create the order table. Let's see. So we have created the food model and order model. Okay. Now we'll be importing this order model into the Stripe route.ts, and see, okay, we are still left with the schema order model. So we have created the model. Now let's create the model. Export const. We have done with the schema interface, but we haven't done with the model. Let's export const order model equal to model. So it will be always a plural orders. The collection name will be, and you can see, you can write it as a order. You can pass the order schema. Now you can import this inside the Stripe route. Import order schema from the models route. Okay. Now we can able to insert these line items. Okay, inside the orders table. Okay. Now we'll see how we will be creating the orders table. So we'll be creating order collection. Okay, just we wanted to do small changes. Const. Let's make these line items out of this one, so we can use that same thing for the orders. request as well. Let's cut it from here, this array, and paste it here. Okay. Now what we can do is line items, we directly add it to here. Okay, this is what we have to do, and let's make this one order collection. Okay, so add some comment order collection. Okay, order collection, just to make it clear, in this block we will be creating the order. So first we need to have order request, which is of type I order. Okay, so we'll be having all of these properties. What we have, products, which is nothing but line items here in this case we can say, and user ID. For example, for this one we'll be using this as a static values. Name will be, let's add the name. Later we will make it all these values dynamic when we are done with the Angular client side. So we'll make the post request from there. Okay, email, gmail.com. What else? Address, HYD, city, HYD. Is anything left? So we have added that request as well. Now we need to import the order model. In the same way how we have created list of food items, the same way we can able to create the orders. So let's see how we have created. We have used this way, food model dot create, and we need to provide the request. In the same way we can provide const await order model dot create, and you can provide the order request. That's it. So you don't worry about the static values, we'll be making it dynamically as I said in the previous. So let's see how it is going to work. Now let's run the same thing. Okay, now run again this checkout endpoint, and when we make the payment, then only the order will get created. See, if you see in the currently in the transactions we are having only one record, which is, well, let's make the payment for this one. Let's make this one 10,000. Okay, for the testing let's make it 1,000. So here let's once again refresh the URL, checkout URL. Seems like the server is still running. Okay, it's still running. Okay, now it's completed. Refresh the page. Now copy this URL, close the existing one and add the new one. So it will go here. So now you can see the amount got changed. Let's add the same details again. These details you can give anything. For the testing purpose I am giving the same details. So when we go to live, we will get the real-time credit card details. So I'm using these things, testing credentials now. So clicking on pay. So let's see, the payment got successful and it has redirected to the client localhost 4200, and refresh that Stripe dashboard. we should able to see the another record inside the logs. See, we got the new payment, the another record 10. So now let's see whether we got that new collection or not. So we still not got that new collection. Let's see why it's not created. Let's go to MongoDB collection once. Why it is not created? We still see goods only. Now let's add collection orders, create collection. Now the collection is empty. Now refresh the checkout endpoint and do it one more time. So we got that checkout page and I'm giving the details. Here you can see I'm giving the same details. 4242. These are the test card details. 0526. Now I'm giving 00. Now make the payment. So the payment got successful and the URL is redirected to localhost 4200. You see, go to the table, refresh it. Okay, now we got that one. So we got the orders table. So see what it contains. The line items, what we have maintained the structure there. So here you can see the item name is chicken soup and the amount is 1000 in the currency USD. The user details what we have given static things Srikanth@gmail.com, and we got the timestamps as well. So all these static things will be made dynamic in the coming videos when we integrate the client Angular changes. We will make the request from the client side and we will make these things as a dynamic, and we can pass multiple items here inside the line items. As it is an array, we can pass multiple items. Okay, thank you guys for watching. We'll see in the next video.